Hi, this is Ken Long. I want to describe in 4 slides my recent journeys on my doctoral dissertation research and let you know where I'm at. This is 19 July 2009. I'm about a year and 2 months into the program. It started off with my motivation being associated with my warrior dharma and an interest in increasing my professional learning. Dharma is the Eastern construct for duty, and it really is a whole life spiritual duty. And the Dharma of a warrior in the Eastern traditions is one who first masters himself and then protects those who need protecting. As a result of my cycles of research and inquiry, I found myself connecting with all of these constructs and theories at various times, a lot of sense-making and reflexive practitioner, bounded rationality, complex adaptive systems, and so forth. A large component of educational theory associated with connectionism, which is net-centric education theory, an interest in lifelong learning and open systems learning, and tying that to martial theory or military science and art. Beyond the boundaries of the classroom. A participatory action research methodology has been an instrumental part of all of that, particularly because in network-centric operations and net-centric education, the value of your educational insights comes from the extent and complexity of your network and not necessarily from the individual node that you happen to inhabit. As a consequence of a number of cycles of participatory action research, this idea in the middle of voice continued to be very important and seemed to be something that tied everything together. And it was more than simply self-directed learning. It really was the ability of people inside the network to solicit voice and opinions and insights from others and then listen to it carefully, consider it, act on it, and provide feedback in the form of a dialogue. So a very non-hierarchical approach to communication inside our college. Various ideas have come out of that idea of voice, such as defining it, can you give it, how do you listen, how well do you speak, when do you speak, what are the consequences of speaking truth to power, what's your responsibility for speaking in a democracy, what things do you choose to talk about, what are the effects of the things that you say and how you say them, and what kind of results can you achieve. So all of those things taken together are associated with this construct of voice that seems to be emerging. And I've seen it and researched it in the areas that you see there, the domains of school, classroom, peers, myself, various organizations inside my family, and the idea that you use your voice or you lose it. Failure to speak up creates a moral imperative to remain quiet. I've seen that voice has an effect on organizational transformation, this net-centric educational idea, and my own personal and professional growth. Along with this construct of voice, the methodology of action research has been instrumental in my inquiry. Some key points that come out of that are the idea of first, second, and third person research and results. So that when I apply voice to my own first-person research, I'm really talking about how I improve the quality of my own speaking and writing and engagement in the world of dialogue in the college. Second-person action research relates to peer relationships, and that could be on a mentoring basis with graduate students. It could be with fellow instructors or fellow curriculum developers or other thought leaders. But really it's an engagement in a dialogue with an other. Third person, we're talking about small group or even medium-sized group growth, team-based learning, project management, group design. The 4 ways of knowing is an important insight that comes out of action research, and that is that there are not just the theoretical knowledge or propositional knowledge, but knowledge that comes from direct experience, from presentation, and from practice as well as the propositional. Knowledge from presentation are insights that are developed as a consequence of dialogue or the act of engaging with others, and that's associated strongly with voice. And all four of these ways contribute to the ways we engage with and understand our world. And they're all valid, and not just the propositional, which has been the Western way of academia. I've observed the transformational consequences of action research cycles in my own practice in second and third person, and I've seen how some initiatives that we've started in the college have connected to larger waves of change throughout the Army, and there's a synergistic effect. I admire the quality and values and the synergy that comes out of action research because it emphasizes the values of democracy and engagement and academic freedom and making differences in the lives of people. The energy that comes out of that, though, and this is where the research comes in, I guess, is the emphasis action research places on documentation, changes to infrastructure so that positive changes are implemented over time. They don't rely just on the action researcher to maintain it, but the infrastructure itself has changed. This could be the physical plant, this could be policies, it could be mindsets or procedures. Something in the infrastructure must change as a consequence of your research in order to lock in all these improvements that are being made. And then finally, the consequences. We measure those things and we make value judgments about them, and we have purposeful action. So taken together, this slide really describes, in a nutshell, the major topics that I'd choose to talk about over the last year and 2 months of growth, related to my passion, which is being a soldier, and my commitment to learning this construct of voice, which seems to touch everything that I'm doing, and then the consequences for the organization, for the ideas that it's opening up for me for net-centric education, and my own personal and professional growth.